This will be an introductory video to the upcoming series of videos that I will make for this course on the basics of Linux. We'll go through a few things here that I have. Let's see. Boom. So this course will be basically for people that are looking to change over to DevOps or get into the tech field and work with Linux, or for folks that just want to get a very quick rundown of how to work with Linux so they can work with AI and quickly iterate on their vibe code apps or whatever script that they're writing within their environment. This course will be mostly based working with the terminal, because in real enterprise environments, that's what you're going to be working with terminals as opposed to GUIs. You can have a desktop environment like this. I'm running Fedora Linux as a server edition, but if you so choose, you can have a desktop environment and install it just like you would have a Windows or a Mac. So going into that, there's a few options for distros, or not a few, a bunch of options for distros, and you can use any of the ones that you would like to use. I chose Fedora because the package manager closely resembles what Red Hat runs, and that's really what I work with on a daily basis. But I have this one here, the Fedora server. You could just get the desktop version, which is this, the workstation. And then if you really just want to work with containers, CoreOS is your main distribution. You could also use Red Hat Linux, or Ubuntu is another common one that you could use. Mint, I have a couple here pulled up. I'll link them below so you can quickly see which one you want to use. And they have similarities and just nuances to each distribution. But our main concern is being able to work within the terminal and access the commands. If you really want to, these commands are within. If you have a Mac, you could just pull up a terminal and start running commands within the terminal. But I would suggest having a server with a GUI built on top, because if you don't want to be working within the GUI itself, you don't need to. You could just SSH into your server and work within that environment. It takes me to installing it. There's also a few options to do this. I think the quickest way is probably with Docker. Installing Docker on your local computer, and then spinning up a quick container, and then accessing the container and working with commands. So that's one quick way. Another option is that you can create VMs with a VM software similar to this one here, VirtualBox or VMware, whatever you want to use. But you can quickly create a new VM and dump your OS, the distribution that you choose. I think I have one running here as an example. This is running an OpenShift cluster, and I can access it here, and it's using CoreOS. Using the cloud is also an option that you could use, and spin up a EC2 instance or a machine within GCP or Azure, and then work and do your commands through the cloud environment. Another option, and probably the best one, is if you have an old laptop or some hardware laying around that you can toss Linux on it. That would be your best option, because you can then slowly convert it into a home lab where you can have a OpenShift cluster or a Kubernetes cluster, Talos cluster, anything that you so choose, and start running actual applications that you could work with and learn from. So that's probably the best option. The main takeaway for this course is having the ability to work within your terminal and the basics of Linux and how everything operates. It's not a deep dive into Linux, but really just useful commands that you will use on the everyday basis within DevOps or platform engineering or cloud engineering, and the like. So really, it comes down to having that foundational piece for Linux environments. In the following videos, I will be showing you how to install Linux and using all four options: Docker, VMs, cloud, and your own hardware. So go ahead and subscribe so you're aware when those videos get released, and I'll catch you on the next one.